Now in the Black Box with Spider Loke, Most Easty, aka BJ Keyway, and the Google Gang. Let's go!
Listen.
Gratitude is the attitude. Show is a blessing. To be back in the Black Box. Black Box.
Relax, roll up as we randomly react to content in these YouTube streets. Yeah. It's time for R&R.
Smackwood Nip Hustle. Big shout out to my SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the Black Box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
Y'all see the title, and if you ask me, it's anything under 20 feet. That was my experience in Hawaii. Man, all I saw was some fish and a giant turtle. The turtle probably was as big as your average coffee table, maybe a little larger. And I was horrified, and I had to get up out of there. I had a panic attack. Well, it didn't almost. I had a panic attack. I've never had one in life, except then my dumb ass opened my mouth and tried to call the guide who was about, let's say, 40 yards that way, slightly downward and off. And hell broke loose. There's a story about it on this channel right here on the Black Box. Go check it out and have a laugh. You're going to laugh because I survived. But these people scored down thousands of feet, man. So, we switching it up around here and being diverse, looking at a variety of things. And with no further ado, let's see what these deep divers in the sea have been up to.
The world's oceans are so underexplored that if you dive deeper than 3,500 meters, there's a good chance to discover a new species unknown to science. There's also a good chance you'll find debris and garbage. Oceans cover more than 70% of the Earth's surface. The average depth of the oceans is about 3.7 kilometers.
Do they do this for fun, or what are they looking to find down there? Are they trying to escape something, or do they think something of value is going to be located? What is the purpose of doing all this searching?
And since light can only penetrate to a depth of 100 meters, darkness reigns deep underwater. Let's push this statement one step further and conclude that since most of the planet is covered by water, it means that most of the Earth exists in total darkness. Water in the oceans account for almost 96% of the Earth's water. The portion of fresh water compared to seawater is so small that if the fresh water that flows into the ocean is spread over the surface of the ocean, it would have been about 1.25 meters thick. 94% of all life on Earth lives in water. It means that all of us who live on land belong to a very, very small minority. So what mysteries lurk in the depths of the oceans? The deeper we go, the more curious it gets. It seems that we know more about the surface of Mars than about the ocean floor of our planet. What's going on in the deepest places? We didn't know at all, at least until recently. Lack of light and extreme pressure makes this part of the ocean difficult to explore. Today, we're going on a journey into the very depths. We're going to find out what the bottom of the ocean looks like, what it consists of, and what happens there. Who knows what we will find there? We are going to dive deep to the places with most alien conditions. What was found in the deepest places of the ocean? So, our imaginable submersible sets off. We will make short stops at important marks until we get to the bottom. 40 meters. It is the maximum depth for pearl collectors diving without any scuba diving equipment. They do it by holding their breath. Below that mark, the increasing pressure of the water forces air to escape the lungs. That is why it is the maximum depth for recreational divers. 200 meters. 90% of all aquatic life
I noticed they already 10 times deeper than I was, and I was only down there for about, maybe, it's been some time now, but maybe 10 minutes.
Exists in the layer of the world's oceans to a depth of 200 meters because light still somehow manages to penetrate through the water. It creates the conditions for phytoplankton to grow. Its vast biomass feeds small crustaceans. In turn, those are food for fish and large mammals like whales. As we dive deeper, there's less light and less life. We enter the twilight zone. 332 meters. It is the record for deep diving with the scuba diver equipment. No one was able to dive deeper without a bathyscaphe. 565 meters.
What the f is a bathyscaphe?
It is the maximum recorded diving depth of the emperor penguin. Photosynthesis is almost non-existent here. Not enough light. Therefore, there is no vegetation. However, we can find a relatively large number of fish, but for most of them, it is no longer the most friendly environment.
Think them fish taste any different than the fish up there closer to the surface?
Do not look here for good life. They go deeper in an attempt to hide from predators. 1,000 meters. It is the end of the twilight zone. There is less than 1% of the sunlight, but the inhabitants learned to emit their own light. They use bioluminescent chemical reactions to attract prey or deter predators. Up to a depth of 1,000 meters, there are siphonophores. They are the closest relatives of jellyfish. They live in colonies, clustered around a long tube. It serves as their common digestive system. As we go deeper, life forms become more bizarre and alien. 1,027 meters. It is a record of a military submarine dive. As we continue the dive, we enter a midnight zone where total darkness reigns. Food is extremely scarce, and ocean life is forced to conserve energy. Most animals do not hunt actively, but drift and collect sea snow, microparticles of dead fish remains, plant, feces, dust, and sand. 2,200 meters. It is the depth to which giant octopuses and
So where is that sand? Are they suggesting they're like mountain type structures down there, or is the sand just free flowing through the water? One of you scientist nerd types, let me know. And I don't say that with no disrespect. I'm a nerd type to some degree. So I'm talking somebody deeper than me. Let me know.
even more giant sperm whales dive. Sometimes they even fight deadly battles at the depth. We can also find the anglerfish with a luminescent fin ray to lure.
That look like a possessed piranha.
Other fish. For its prey, a glowing bait looks like a juicy food. In fact, the luminescence comes from symbiotic bacteria. 6,100 meters. It is the depth at which transcontinental internet cables are laid on the ocean floor. More than 90% of ocean is about 6,000 meters deep. It is considered the conditional bottom of the ocean. However, there are many places where the ocean sinks below its own floor, much deeper. We're talking about the famous ocean places. Let us visit the deepest and most famous one. The Mariana Trench is on the border of
Man, the Creator has given humanity an amazing amount of ability with their brain to explore, discover, calculate, and figure all this out, man. I am amazed. I'm so far from what smart can actually be. The people who deal with all this, these are smart buff. So, blah, 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 blah.
2 lithospheric plates. It was formed due to subduction, submergence of one plate under the other. The Pacific plate under the Philippine plate. It was formed in its present form relatively recently, about 180 million years ago. At that time, the first mammals already existed on land. Contrary to misconceptions, the Mariana Trench is not a hole in the seabed, but a huge formation, 2,542 kilometers, more than 5 times the length of the famous Grand Canyon in the United States. It is also relatively narrow, averaging about 70 kilometers. With
Damn, you haven't been to the Grand Canyon to see how vast of a space that is. Probably don't grasp exactly what he was just trying to say, but the Grand Canyon is a very, very, very large, vast amount of open space.
such dimensions, it is not surprising that there are several deepest places, more than 10,000 meters deep. The Challenger Abyss is the most famous. It is located in the southwestern part of the trench, 340 kilometers from the island of Guam. According to various data, its maximum depth ranges from 10,028 meters to 11,034 meters below sea level. The second deepest place in the ocean is also in the Mariana Trench. This is the Siren Abyss, 200 kilometers east of the Challenger Abyss. Its maximum depth is slightly less, 10,809 meters. Interestingly, the deepest place is not the nearest place to the center of the Earth. Our planet is not perfectly spherical, but slightly flattened at the poles. Because the planet bulges along the equator, the radius at the poles is about 25 kilometers less than the radius at the equator. Therefore, the Arctic Ocean seafloor is closer to the center of the Earth than the bottom of the Challenger Abyss. Because of its enormous scale, the Mariana Trench has a special environment with some dramatic variations in conditions. For example, at its very top, at a depth of only 414 meters, there is the Daikoku volcano. You can observe a rare phenomenon, a lake of pure molten sulfur underwater.
Now that is some of the most amazing realization that you can hear of when it comes to creation, because we know we got hot areas, we got cold areas. You got times I just did a reaction about the ice age, and we got tropical areas. Man, when you have the merging of the hottest and the coldest, that is deep. That is deep. That's the yin and the yang. Let's hear it. Keep building. I'm into this, man. This is good to me. Hope y'all enjoyed it.
Black substance boils at a temperature of 187 degrees Celsius. There is an even more amazing place. It is called black smokers. These are hydrothermal springs at a depth of about 1,600 meters, which shoot out highly mineralized water under pressure of hundreds of atmospheres, with a temperature of up to 450 degrees Celsius. According to the hypothesis, 1 billion years ago, the black smokers became the cradle of life in the ocean. As for the existence of life in the Mariana Trench, for a long time, scientists believed that it is possible only.
The black smokers. It seems like no matter where they dig, no matter where they study, no matter how far they go back, the beginning and the essence of everything is black. Welcome to the black box.
At relatively shallow depths. The high pressure at the very bottom of the Challenger Abyss and the temperature of about 1 degree were considered hostile conditions for any life. However, the first manned expeditions proved otherwise. 2 Americans, Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh, were the first people to visit the Challenger Abyss in 1960.
See, I ain't no hater, man. We have differences, man, but we gotta appreciate each other, man, because I'm not going down in that man, to pick all this out. So it wasn't for our white brethren that was going down here doing all this, how will we ever figure this shit out, man? Salute to them. I thank y'all. Oh, my mama, do y'all stuff.
descended to 10,918 meters in 5 hours on the deep diving research bathyscaphe Trieste. At this mark, the explorers spent 20 minutes and saw almost nothing because of the clouds of silt raised by the apparatus. However, they spotted a flat fish in the beam of the searchlight. It was a scientific sensation that they found signs of life at such depth. However, the mere spotting of fish was inconclusive, and the scientific community braced itself for years of waiting for the next expeditions. The wait till March 24th, 1995. On that day, a Japanese probe Kaiko
Damn, I was in prison. Avenal State Prison. That's fucked up.
was lowered to the maximum depth of the depression and recorded a level of 10,911.4 meters. It also brought back samples of silt, where scientists discovered microscopic living creatures. Foraminifera are single-celled organisms with a mineral skeleton. In July 2011, another research expedition used special models, drop cams equipped with digital video cameras.
One single cell with what did he call the skeleton? Mineral. Meaning to me, as you go from the depths of the ocean out to the world, up into the atmosphere, the evolution of body parts and everything else is protective and adaptive to what the environment has to offer for you down there in the origin of things. This is just my brain going off. Yeah, I've been smoking. But anyway, you have less need. That's the most tiniest of basics, but the most complex of organisms that we just saw. And this is what that's on the screen right now. Look like a modern vehicle with the new fluorescent lights and oh, my mama.
Cameras and powerful flashlights to explore the deepest places of the ocean. The most impressive find was a gigantic foraminifera. It was huge for single-celled organisms, over 10 centimeters in size. The next expedition was taken in 2012 by Hollywood filmmaker James Cameron on the one-person human-occupied vehicle Deep Sea Challenger. Later, scientists found about 200 species of invertebrates in soil samples brought back. Finally, in December 2014,
I know what vertebrae is, but what is invertebrate? I heard this like the second time I heard that term on here. Somebody let me know. I'm going to look it up, but it still be fun as a group, you know. Somebody look up invertebrate, put the definition for the lazy ones who are not going to look it up. Put it in the comments. I'll pin it.
Another expedition reached a depth of 8,145 meters and found complex multicellular organisms. Scientists found previously unknown fish, which looked like snailfish. The fish is considered the record holder for deep water. There are no other fish there except snailfish. The good news is that that species has no natural enemies at this depth. Now, let's go almost to the opposite side of the globe to look into another interesting oceanic depression. The Puerto Rican Trench is located on the boundary between the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean on the site of a geological pit. It is the deepest depression in the Atlantic. Its lowest point is at 8,376 meters. It is called the Milwaukee Depth, in honor of the U.S. Navy ship Milwaukee, the ship that first found it. The notorious geographical discovery was made on February 14, 1939. But the exact depth was not measured until 2018. It was found by state-of-the-art equipment, the Kongsberg EM-124 multi-beam sonar. Later, a retired U.S. Navy officer turned private equity investor Victor Vescovo completed a first manned dive on the roster into the Puerto Rico Trench, the deepest point at the Atlantic Ocean, on December 19, 2018. Like many other deep places in the ocean,
they still going deeper and deeper. That's recent now. That's crazy. Mankind is advancing, but for some reason, somehow, they can't get back to the moon. I wonder how. Why? Wow. We know that them photos is some bush now. That's why they don't show them no more. Now we see what it looked like to get some real footage of the outer limits of our environment, even though this is of the below. Look, this is reality. Go look at that old about them going to the moon. You know that's old school Hollywood. Go look at the old Superman and Batman shows. It look just like that. Oh, my mama.
It is a very turbulent place geologically. Seismic activity has already had catastrophic consequences for the neighboring islands, especially the island of Puerto Rico. On October 11, 1918, due to a 7-point earthquake, a tsunami wave struck the west coast of the island. More than 100 people were killed, and the damage amounted to tens of millions of dollars. Some geoscientists believe in the possibility of a powerful volcanic eruption in the near future, which in turn will cause a disaster. There is a geological anomaly associated with the Puerto Rican Trench. According to NASA, there is a super dense geological formation under the trench. It is so dense that it has an increased gravitational impact on the ocean's surface, causing it to subside slightly. It explains a negative impact on the accuracy of navigation devices. The fauna of the trough is fascinating. In 2012, a robotic bathyscaphe descended to the bottom of the trough and photographed a swarm of amphipods, small crustaceans. They were caught and brought to the surface for analysis.
Man, you know they shrimp fried rice them. Did some etouffee Ashantis. They probably flavored up. Oh, mama. $1,000 a shrimp.
The same expedition video recorded invertebrate creatures, which in no way should be here. Later, Dr. Stace Beaulieu of the
I'll make a guess. Invertebrate meaning it ain't got no bones, no skeleton. We think about fish. I know they some of the flimsier things known to man. And vertebrae has something to do with bones. Invertebrate must mean like maybe, or yeah, that's what my guess is. Y'all, somebody still look it up. I ain't gonna look it up. I know how simple it is. I'm gonna play the game with y'all. I'm not gonna look it up. Somebody put the definition in chat. Jeter, appreciate that.
Woods Hole Oceanic Institution identified one by its soft, dark carcass length of 10 to 20 centimeters. It turned out to be a sea cucumber of the genus Peniagon. He also recognized a representative of the crustacean family, Monopsidae, in another creature. The fact of their existence at such extreme depths forced scientists to make serious adjustments to the theories about the survival of species. Now, let's look into the Kermadec Trench in the Pacific Ocean. It is as gigantic a deep-water trough in the Pacific as the Mariana Trench in the Atlantic. It is located at the eastern foot of the Kermadec Islands and connects to the Tonga Trench in the north. Its length is about 1,200 kilometers. It was discovered in 1889 by an expedition of the British ship Penguin. The depth is also only slightly less than the Mariana Trench, 10,047 meters. The trench is interesting with its specific animal species discovered by research expeditions. For example, in 2012, the amphipods Alicella gigantea were found at the bottom of the depression. Their size puzzled and confounded scientists. They were up to 34 centimeters long, while most of the crustaceans found elsewhere are much smaller, about 2 centimeters long. The gigantic size is a paradox resulting from extreme living conditions at great depths. Deep-sea fish of the Liparian family were also found in the trench. To be more precise, it is a special biological species, Notoloparus kermadicensis. It is the second deepest fish with a very narrow range of depths, from 6,472 to 7,561 meters. The discovery of the pearlfish in the Kermadec Trench caused a sensation. It was found at a depth of
It looked like a white catfish. That motherfucker pretty. Silver catfish.
8,200 to 8,300 meters. It was an unusual find because the pearlfish live much closer to the surface, at 1,800 to 2,000 meters deep. How these creatures got to extreme depths and survived remains to be explained. Our story covered only a few pages from the book in exploring the deepest ocean places. As technological capabilities develop, more and more dives take place. In 2020, as many as 6 manned expeditions took place to the Mariana Trench. So we can hope and wait for more amazing discoveries.
In the Russian cream, whole team counting thousands, it was just a dream. Big blunts to the neck, get me hard quick. In the trap, watching shotters on the fire stick. 4K, 60-something on the inside. Pastrami and chili on the French fries. Piece enough for the homies on the inside. Evil East side, in hood, could've been died. Liberated, cause the paid lawyer litigated. Mitigated, keep the cognac refrigerated. Getting faded in the 5-star, niggas hate it. Last time I demonstrated, it was nickel plated. We ain't had no win against the 4 fin. Just went on one, and I'm down to go again. But then, I'd rather sip tequila. Kick my feet up, turn the beat up, never put my heat up on E. I'm thinking it's a Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Tequila, kicking my feet up, turning my feet up. I'm thinking it's a Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Tequila, kicking my feet up, turning my feet up. Making me some mountains, thinking about the whole thing. Kicking my feet up, it's like a ball. I'm thinking it's Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Tequila, kicking my feet up.
This is on a baseball cap, I'm from the Mac, styrofoam cup full of Remy Martin, all cognac, no taste. I used to duct tape the 38, riders hanging out where it ain't safe on a Tuesday. Patron bottles, Magnum hollers, we get it in, active like every day, not only on the weekend. Baby says she can't swim, just put your feet in, take a shot of this tequila, and stay away from the deep end. But just though, I'm too deep in, mafia, on that BS, blue smurf and baby spotter, gold rag around my neck or in my pocket, can't give it up, blam on me in the function, wish I would put it up, got me turned up, thinking about the old days, homie and I, remember all my head up fast, but then, I'd rather chill and kick my feet up, mafias and ECs, the real riders link up. I'm thinking it's a Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Tequila, kicking my feet up, turning my feet up. I'm thinking it's a Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Tequila, kicking my feet up, turning my feet up. Making me some mountains, thinking about the whole thing. Kicking my feet up, it's like a ball. I'm thinking it's Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Tequila, kicking my feet up.
Snakewood Net Hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
It's the homie cook-up boss, goddammit, Cub Low. And y'all tuning in to the Wake and Bake Show with goddamn it, the homeboy Spider Loc.
It was SPI, the realest nigga in LA.
Spider this bitch!
Spider Loc, nigga.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
So Spider looks at me because we go back to the juvenile side of the county.
What the? Spider Loc. Spider Loc.
Shout out to SPI, that motherfucking nigga.
Spider Loc, Wake and Bake. Better keep it Google, nigga.
Loc is in LA somewhere doing what he's doing.
In the words of Spider Loc on my mama's mama.
Spider Loc's gear. This is Bay Mac.
Nightblood, C-Mac. Shout out my Loc, Spider Loc, huh? Nightblood, on hood. It's a beautiful world. You fight me? Fight, crib.
Point blank, do no subliminal dissing. When I listen, I can tell you never been on no mission. Sticking to the script, don't care if I offend you. Neighborhood crib, the marathon
I overlook my
continue.
competition, never seeing them. I done trained my mind that I'm going. You could tell by how I walk, talk, I'm a boss. A east side millionaire, homie, what you thought? My life is a movie. They can't get close to me. They mad cause they can't be. I'm everything that they wanna be, yeah.
You are now in the Black Box with Spider Loc, Most Easty, aka BJ Keyway, and the Google Gang.
Let's go!
Black Box business, baby. Before you bounce. Believe the video, I thought I was going to try to do it all bees, but the video on your screen is for you, according to YouTube. Jeter.